Number one is developing financial independence. When you work for someone else, you're always going to be limited by your advancement in that organization or that company. And that also means you're going to be limited financially, because there's only so much that they're going to pay you. Now, I've become less motivated by money as I've gotten older, but it has given me financial freedom and financial independence. And entrepreneurship can do that for you. It can change your life in so many ways, and we'll talk about those ways. But one of the key ways that it can do it is change it financially. It can give you the ability to send your kids to the best schools. It can give you the ability to travel and see the world. It can give you the ability to change people's lives. And for me, I would never, ever go back and work for someone else, because entrepreneurship has given me financial independence and the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And it can do the same for you. It can do the same for you. Number two, one of the things I've realized as I've gotten older is time, and my schedule is really, really important to me. Now, you guys are probably 18, 20, 19, 20 years old, right? And boy, would I love to be 18 or 20 or 20-something years old again. And right now, as you're sitting here, you're thinking, I've got all the time in the world. But what I realize as I get older, that my time and my schedule is the most important thing. More than money, more than anything else, time is the one thing I can't make. It's the one thing I can't get back. And so entrepreneurship has given me time in my schedule. It's given me time. You know, when I used to work for someone else, I couldn't go and see my son's football match. I couldn't go to my son's school to see a school play or a school program. I could barely take a holiday because the pressure to be there and to stay there because your job was on the line was always there. As an entrepreneur, in the beginning, you don't have a lot of this freedom, but as you get and you grow your business and your business becomes stable, you have freedom of time. You know, now I go and I see my kids play football when I want to. I can go to their school programs. I can go on holidays. And that's really, really important to me, that I have that quality and that time. And so entrepreneurship can give you that, and give you that freedom. And I look at, if people ask me all the time, you've been successful, and what's the most important to you about your success? And I say it's time and the freedom of my time, because it is one thing that I can't get back. And so to me, one of the biggest things about my success is that I now have freedom of time. Number three, the first time that I walked into a toy store and saw a product that I had drawn on a bar napkin over a few beers was an amazing moment. It was an amazing moment. I almost cried, because you can bring your products or you bring your ideas to life, no matter what those are. When you can walk in a store and you can walk in somewhere and see the product of your labor and the product of your imagination, it's a very powerful moment. And so entrepreneurship gives you the ability to be creative. It gives you the ability to create and do something special. And you can't do that often. When you work for someone else, you often have a lot of constraints on what you can do. And at the end of the day, if you work for somebody else and you create something, that belongs to them, right? As an entrepreneur, when you create something, that belongs to you. And so it gives you that freedom to create and be free to do things the way you want to do them and design your business around your vision. Which is a good segue. I kind of mixed the two of these, but have creative freedom. When you work for someone else, your business is, or their business, you have constraints. It's designed around their vision when you work for someone else. But when you work for yourself and you're an entrepreneur, you design your business to fit you, around your beliefs and your value system and your vision. Okay? So number 4 is the creative freedom that it gives you. And that's, again, a very, very powerful thing. Number 5, I would change that now because I fired myself last year, which was a nice change. But when you work for yourself, you're not worried about, you have other worries. I'm not going to tell you that you don't. You have other worries about your business failing and having trouble. But you certainly don't worry about doing something that makes your boss mad and losing your job. So you do have a lot of freedom of this, and not worrying about your job being lost because you did something that your boss didn't like. Who here has ever gotten fired from a job? No? No. Or you probably haven't had the work yet. So, but it really does. It does happen, and it is something that people think about. I know I used to think about it when I worked for other people. Some jobs I wanted to get fired from. Number 6 is being challenged in a real way. Now, I had no idea that when I started my business that it would be the most challenging thing that I've ever done. I had no idea that you would have the weight of the world on your shoulders, because every decision you make impacts the people that work for you. You know, what I realize is that we have 100 people that work for us. That's just not 100 people, but that's 100 families. That's kids, that's wives, daughters, sons, people that depend on you making those decisions. And that's a lot of weight. So I never knew the challenge and the weight of being an entrepreneur, what that would be like. And it's tough. But it was real, and it was me, and we were doing it, and we were working hard, and it was very, very satisfying. As hard as it was incredibly satisfying. And for you, it can be the same way. The other, number 7, is building a legacy. And I can be very proud at the end of my days of what we did. We built a company out of nothing, from the ground up, that works in 35 countries, makes product for some of the biggest stores in the world. We did that. It was an idea, and we made it happen. And so that, to me, is a legacy that I can be very, very proud of. And so what entrepreneurship can do for you is give that feeling to you of satisfaction that you did something significant. If you walk in our office, if you walk in our headquarters, the first thing that you see is a sign that says, "Be significant." And to us, that was very, very important, that we wanted to be significant in this industry. We wanted to be significant in our careers and our personal lives. And we want our employees and our staff and our team to also feel and be significant in their community and their families' lives, and help us make an impact on that industry. So for us, that was our mantra. That was our mission statement, was to be significant. It was very simple. And so entrepreneurship gave us that opportunity. Number 8, you're able to think global. So who in this room wants to start a business that's just focused on Swaziland? Or do you want to grow a business all over the region? So do you want to go regional, or do you want to go regional? Yes. Raise your hand if you want to build something big. Okay. Good. It's good to dream big. I know you hear a lot of people say, talk about dreaming big, but you have to dream big. We always thought in our business that we would be one of the top toy companies in the world. We always dreamed that we would sell our toys internationally. And that was where we started from. That was the mindset that we started from. And what that did was it gave us a direction. It gave us a vision of where we could take the company in the future that we could share with our employees. The first book that I ever wrote was titled 1 Million Frogs. And the reason our first toy product was a product that had frog. It was a frog product. It was a science project. And the first day that we started the business, we wrote 1 million on the board for our employees. And that 1 million signified that we wanted to sell 1 million of these products. And we hit that number. We exceeded that number by far. But it was a goal. And so it's good to dream big. It's good to have big goals. It's good to have big dreams. And entrepreneurship gives you that ability. When you work for somebody else, you're living somebody else's dream. You're building their dream, right? It's not yours, and it doesn't belong to you. Number 9 is gaining personal fulfillment. I've already talked about this a little bit, but the fulfillment I get from walking in my factory and seeing everybody working, seeing everybody living, seeing everybody able to support their families gives me a great sense of personal pride and a great sense of personal accomplishment. So that's what you can get from entrepreneurship. You can be proud. You can walk into your place of business every day and say, this is mine. And you can't replace that. You don't get that when you work for someone else. One of the other great things about entrepreneurship is your ability to help others, your ability to have an impact in your community. I'm going to talk about personal power in a few minutes and what entrepreneurship did for me in terms of personal power. But what we're able to do as entrepreneurs now is help our community. We're able to help sports teams. We're able to help other charities. We're able to help and donate and contribute time and energy and money to needs in our community. And as an entrepreneur, you get the opportunity to do that. And that's pretty incredible that you're able to. In fact, we have a lot of staff now that volunteer their time with community organizations. It's part of what we do as a company. And as an entrepreneur, I get a tremendous amount of satisfaction out that we're able to do that. We're able to contribute back to our community, which if you're working from someone else, again, you spend most of your life working and not really contributing. I've already talked about this a little bit, but you're able to hire and contribute to economic growth. Just think if each one of you were able to start a company and hire 10 people in this room. Think about the impact that would have on the economy of Swaziland. Think about the number of lives that you would change just if the people in this room went out, started businesses, and were successful. So you have a chance as an entrepreneur to make a real, valid, important impact on the economy. And it's pretty amazing when you can do that. Where we started our business was a very, very poor area in my state. I'm from South Carolina, and I'm in the poorest part of the state. And so I know that the people that we employ it makes a huge difference to the region. And so you can do the same. The other thing is you can become a leader. Now, I had always been a manager in my organizations. I was lucky enough in the jobs that I held for most of my life in my career, I got to manage people. But I didn't truly learn about leadership until I started a business. Because there is a difference between a manager and a leader. Does anyone know what that difference is? What's the difference?
The leader is someone who's got a vision. Then he or she hires the manager to guide people so that they achieve the vision of the thing.
So what he said was, the key word that he said was vision. And a leader has vision. A leader understands where the organization needs to go and sets that vision and sets that course. And managers help get you there. The managers help with the goals. The manager help with the task. But the leader picks everybody up and takes them there. Okay? And that, to me, I learned a lot more about as I became the founder and one of the leaders of this company, the CEO of this company. Because we had to be responsible for setting the vision and sharing that vision so that everyone knew where we were going. One of the problems I see when I go to a lot of different companies, I see this very often. I'll go into a company and I'll ask the CEO, what is the company mission statement? What is the company vision? And he goes to a bookshelf and he pulls it off the bookshelf, right? It's got dust on it. And he opens it up and he says, here it is. And I say, great, let's go out and talk to the person on the production line. Let's go talk to the cashier. Let's see if they understand this vision. And 99% of the time, they don't know what the vision is. They don't know where that company is going. They don't know what or where the leadership wants to go. And that's a problem. Number 13. Now, I hate math. I'll just tell you that right now. And when I was in university, when I was in your chair 25 or so years ago, I did everything I could to do to avoid math. Calculus, algebra, all those things. I hated those things. Statistics. But when I became an entrepreneur, I had to learn those things. Because it was my responsibility to be in charge of the financial health of the company, which is why 99.9% of companies fail. I hear entrepreneurs say all the time that we didn't have enough funding, we couldn't get funding. It's not really about funding, guys. It's about how you manage the money that you do have. And I can't reiterate that enough. But what I learned as an entrepreneur is I needed to become involved in all aspects of the company, the financial aspects of it, the marketing aspects of it, the production aspects of it. I needed to learn those parts of the business so that I could be an effective leader. Doesn't mean I had to do all those jobs. I ended up doing all those jobs, but I had to learn those jobs. So the great thing about becoming an entrepreneur is you learn, and you continually learn, and it's to be a successful entrepreneur, one of the biggest traits is somebody that wants to learn and wants to continuously learn about what they're doing and how they improve it.